What is going on, my galactic gatherers? I wanted to cover a new topic today. We're going to talk about dimensional duel. And before I get into dimensional duel particularly, let's talk about building for PvP. So, a couple of things. I've talked about this in earlier videos, but you want to work backwards on building your character, starting with your Omega cards. And Omega cards is really where PvP differentiation occurs. So for me right now, I actually need to build a Dark Dimension set, which is this 10. Best way to do this is just go to your Omega cards, and then I forget about grade. Nobody cares about the grade. Honestly, the grade matters way less than the rarity. And the best way to do that is to go by set. And you're going to see here all of these cards. Like I got a couple of 3s here. These are worthless to me. Like, yeah, base attack, that's fine. HP, those are fine stats. But what I really care about is getting these card sets. So for here, I just barely pulled this. I need to upgrade it. I need to get it to level 3 to really be playable for me. And I need this one to level 3 as well. So those are the ones I'm looking at building right now. But I'm concerned about in PvP getting the most damage value the fastest, and guard break is helpful, but not super consequential for how I build my character. You just want to be really, really good at what you're doing. And I know that that's a little broad, but I'll explain what I mean going through my build. So again, I've recommended this in other videos, but prioritize getting full completion on New Stark City so you can get an exclusive stat on a 5-star card. For me, this was critical damage, which is super awesome. And it's my exclusive stat of shock damage, which again, shock isn't my favorite for playstyle of Star-Lord. I don't love how the attacks work, which I'll cover in a separate video on skills for Star-Lord when I start doing individual character skill guides, but that won't be for a while. If you think that should be done faster, put that in the comments, let me know. But basically here, what we're looking for are PvP stats. And the places that you're going to get these are the PvP card sets. So the place where you farm them is in the PvP areas, and that's the Dark Zone sets. So I don't know why these are like Dark Zone 3, 4, 5. It might be that they just haven't released all the card sets yet, and there will be a 1 and 2 and then keep going from there. Well, right now I have 2 out of 4 in this one, and some of these sets only come with 4 cards, so you can only get a 4-card stat boost, but the boosts can often be pretty good. So like for this one, the card boost would be a flat attack bonus. And all of these cards are rares. You can get all of these free to play. You've seen I've already pulled 2 and I haven't even really been farming them particularly. I just get them from the most wanteds in my dailies. So that's great. But you'll see on these other ones, Dark Zone 4 specifically, if you can get all 6 of these, and you might have seen some bigger streamers who are spending a bunch of money to get these 2 gold cards. So these are special, which is the highest rarity. These are rare. Any one that's part of a set is at least a rare, if not a special. But the special cards, the only place you can get these is by buying them in the shop. And you have to spend cores as a free-to-play player to get those. And you get those through draw, Omega card. 1 draw is going to be 200 crystals. These are not on my list of things to buy with your crystals straight away. My suggestion is to do character slots and then to fully upgrade the inventory on your primary, on your main character, hero, whatever you want to call them, so that you can AFK farm overnight and get as many battle badges as possible, which is going to get you Convergium to help you build armor. So for me, I'm not spending any crystals on these anytime soon, so I'm not angling for this PvP damage bonus increase on this set. So I'm certainly not going to be stressed out about farming it. Same thing with this one. But these are the 2 best sets, and if you're losing to somebody who is a spender, this could very well be the reason. A flat, almost nearly 20% bonus is just going to slap you, and it's going to slap you hard. And you can see in all these other ones, some of these give super villain damage, defense, pierce, Midgardia 4 is what I'm going to be angling for my Star-Lord build. I have this one and I need the other 3, but crit damage and crit rate in a 4 set is going to be superbly helpful to me. Right now I just have the cards for this Midgardia 2, but I'm never going to get this 6th card in the near future, only when I start getting a ton of crystals and I'm able to drop on those. But I do think the Omega cards are really where the end game is, more than the armor. So that's why I'm spending so much time describing this and showing this to you guys. So again, you can see those final 2 card sets are the only one where you're getting a set bonus that's giving you PvP. And then when you come into your owned cards, we're just going to go through mine real quick. Crit damage, helpful for my damage. And again, for Star-Lord, the reason why I care about crit damage, if you haven't played as Star-Lord or you fought against him and you don't know why you're losing, his battle soundtrack gives me an additional 36.34% crit rate for 8 seconds. And then I can use this every 25 seconds. So at the very beginning of the battle, I'm just going to blitz you with heavy hitting crit hits with as many of my burst shots as I can to try to get as many of those procs as possible. And you can see here in my character build, my crit rate is around 15% flat right now. When I get that additional 35%, that puts me over 60% crit rate. So every other one of my hits is going to be a critical hit. And then my crit damage is going to slap you again here for an additional 61% on top of that base 20 that Star-Lord has. So I'm getting 86% crit damage, which I think the damage modifier for critical is just 2. So you're doing double damage, and then I'm doing that plus an additional 86%. So for me, that's why I'm angling for those crit rates, crit damage. The more crit rate I have, the more times I'm proccing the crit damage. The more crit damage I have, the more value I'm getting out of those procs. So other owned cards. So I'll show you what I have equipped right now. Super villain damage because I'm doing it a lot, but the fixed effect 13% crit damage. The hit rate is like moderately helpful. I mostly have this one equipped because it's getting me a 0.9% attack hit. I haven't even leveled this up to 3-star because villain damage and hit rate are helpful, but they're not superbly meaningful in endgame content, which is PvP content. So it's not something I'm stressing out about a lot. This one gives me attack, super villain damage, just helpful for blitzes and such. And eventually I'll want to build up to a point where I can have different Omega card sets, maybe a different character. Star-Lord I do for like my PvE content, my overnight farms, and then I use like, I don't know, Storm for my PvP, maybe Spider-Man for my PvP. But here, critical damage. So that's why I focused on these in my cards. And if I wanted to, I could kind of slide things around to optimize here. But I really don't recommend putting any effort into your common cards whatsoever. Like HP recovery can be helpful. Like 6% is actually pretty helpful. I think it procs every like 10 seconds. You just get your health back. So it's really nice for AFK farming because I don't even use any heals, even in Midgardia where my character is right now. So anyway, this is a very long description, mostly about Omega cards, but really I'm going to walk you guys through Dimensional Duel. Once you figure that out, that's really where the game is, in my opinion. And then just synergizing your skills with these. For Star-Lord specifically, I really like Problem Solver. I'm able to just dance around, get away from my opponents. And then I just leveled up these jet boots. So I'm going to level these up to get increased damage. I'm going to change my skills, and you can have 3 skill sets. But I really like this jet boots over shock. Shock all have lowest guard break, so I'm never going to, low or lowest, I guess. So I'm not really going to break any guards. And I could use this. I actually like the damage off of this. It is high guard break on the grenade, but it's really mostly in here for damage. But I could swap this one for the shock shot or the elemental blaster or blaster charge. So it's kind of up to me what I want to do with that. Both of these, this one's chill. So the fourth upgrade is the whatever it started with. I could also do this one for shock damage, but this kind of works for me. I'm gonna go for I'm actually gonna go for this first one, mostly just because it is on such low cooldown, so I can do my big blast. I can hit a bunch of damage, hit procs, and then cycle through each of these before I lose my crit rate increase. So let's walk you guys through it. Go to Arena, Dimensional Duel, just set up your character how you want it. And then I find that most people just kind of set this on auto. You can dance around and try to get your skills to reset, but everybody has like really similar skill timers. So unless you are like a wizard at knowing exactly what another player has, you're not really gaming it super well. And I'll show you what I mean. But like, there's a lull in the fight where both players are waiting for their cooldowns to get refreshed. I do press my dodge chance, and then here I just like to hit my passive buff as quickly as possible. No, Storms is defense up, so if I wanted, I could like dance around her. But my shock is going to reduce the damage that she does. And you're seeing here the ones that kind of like yell at you in big numbers are critical hits. So you're seeing those go off, and it's not actually double here. It's actually just plus that the crit rate, the crit damage increase. So I think we definitely want to get crit damage up as much as possible. But here, like, this really isn't even much of a contest. Once I get my mass burst in the first 5 seconds out, that's when I know if I'm going to lose or not. And I usually have enough debuff accuracy that I can get my electrocution to stick. So here, she died before it hit. But once she gets to max stacks, it's going to reduce her damage by 25%. So I do actually find that shock is actually good in this, even though I don't break guards. It's good in Dimensional Duel just because it reduces all incoming damage by 25%. Again, I personally like burning because I just like killing stuff as fast as possible, especially with Star-Lord. I prefer burning, which increases damage taken by 20%, but in a pure stat comparison, shock is actually better. It's cool, but burning does also, I think, apply like a bleed effect kind of. So the only thing, I just jam my crit rate increase and then get these off, and then I'll put this in this order because I prefer it to go, and you see just how many critical hits I got there, and you can see this is actually a fairly closely matched battle. I do have some like HP regeneration that's coming passively from some of my cards. And Doctor Strange's attacks kind of follow you, but some of them stick, so that can be helpful. But I've got the electrocution to stick. I'm just trying to move off of that. The invincible that you get on his passives are really helpful. We evidently broke his guard there, which is a little surprising. They must not have much guard break resistance. But here, yeah, you're seeing now they're just panicking, trying to get back away, but it's just not going to work out for them. So anyway, I actually really like this game mode because it's so fast. Like, I don't, and you're queued up against people who are relatively evenly matched in power. Honestly, Dimensional Duel is one of my favorite parts because I really like the organization that goes behind creating the PvP aspect of my character. Which is kind of different from other ones. So here you see I just jam one because that's what I have my key bound to, just so I get that crit rate increase. And then everybody just kind of just bolts towards each other most of the time. Problem Solver gets you to dance around so you can avoid some big attacks sometimes. But looks like this Captain Marvel has a PvP set on right now. You know, sometimes people just want to spend the money. I don't. I'm playing free to play so you guys can see how you can what you can access, what's playable, what's not, what's realistic for you in terms of a free-to-play experience. But in my experience, when that happens, you know, I lose a couple of points here for my Dimensional Duel score, and I don't get as many currency tokens. I just get the flat amount. You want to, You can play this as many times as you want, and I'll go through ranking rewards as soon as I'm done. There's nothing restricting you from playing this as much as you want, and that's how I think some of the top end players get to where they are. But for me, I just do my 5 times each day because it is a fun game mode, but I like that I only am forced to play it 5 times. It's kind of like Arena in the Hero Collector games I really like, Marvel Strike Force, Galaxy of Heroes, etc. But instead, the battle is actually limited to 90 seconds, and it will call the battle. So Iron Man calls in shots in specific locations. Dodging his is actually like reasonably helpful. We're just trying to apply the shock. We get it. So now it's just kind of like dancing around. One thing that doing on auto does kind of hurt me on, whenever I get my passive boost here for my crit rate, if my other skills aren't on cooldown, then I can kind of waste that a little bit. So guard's broken. We continue the guard break. You really do have to click that. I mean, this is one game mode you can set to auto just to get the skills and such, but you definitely want to be paying attention because the reward modifier is fairly significant. There is motivation to getting those rewards, and getting promoted makes a difference. You just want to keep an eye on how long the season goes for, but you do get pretty good stuff, and the further on you go, the better it gets. So here you see my score goes up by 20, and then I get 12 of these rewards for every win. You get 2 for every loss, and then my squad XP goes up by 110 instead of just by 10. So, there are significant bonuses to winning in Dimensional Duel. So, I know everybody is not going to have a PvP stat bonus Omega card. I don't even have a single one of these, but you're seeing me at 12 wins, 2 losses, without really having to try hard this. I have 2 pieces of armor at 4 stars. I have just not gotten good draws. It's just not worked out for me. Doesn't mean it wouldn't for you. I mean, you might get luckier than I am. Yeah, you can see here, it's not that Carol has a good matchup against Star-Lord, and I think actually characters are set to be matched up in terms of, I think that they scale the levels to be equal. I'll have to double check on that, but it's not that Carol's better than me. It's just that other Carol that we fought clearly had a PvP increase, because she's just doing massive amounts of damage. And if you can get like a PvP increase plus, like I have that specialization for Star-Lord for my shock damage, and if you can get that on all of your cards, boom, you're going to be doing so much more damage. So, as you think about the end game, keep this in mind. This is really what you're aiming for. And again, I can keep going and keep searching for opponents, and I'll keep getting Dimensional Duel score. So that is not capped by any means. I just, I go until I'm trying to get to level 100. That's my focus right now. But you can see here, I'm in bronze 1. Every time you move up to beginner, you play your first match, you're going to get a 1 to 3 and a 3 core. Then you get some crystals and gold. You saw me pull 30 potential reports and 10 anti-convergium, which is mediocre. Here's 2 3-star core boxes and 2 uniforms, 100 diamonds, 50k, potential reports, and this just goes up and up and up. At the very end, you're getting a 5-star costume pull as soon as you get to Master 3, and then you're getting a 5-star core box pull at Master 3 as well. And then at the very end, I think it's actually a 6-star. So, ranking up to Avenger is going to be super important for endgame content play. I don't actually know when the season resets. I think that they'll be giving us more info on that. I think, even if it does do at a set rate during soft launch, my guess would be that it's going to change. And they actually do give like really helpful breakdowns here. I just find it much easier to watch it and listen to somebody explain it. So that's why I'm making this video. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was useful content and information for you, both on Omega cards and on Dimensional Duel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is there something you want me to focus on? Very last thing. There is a shop for this. I think the thing I would recommend getting are probably the core boxes. Once you try to level up a core to level 4, it gets capped in meaning by that I mean that you have a 70% chance of rolling the core. So it takes 3 cores, you combine them together every time to level up. The further you try to take a core, the greater your chance of just getting the same level of core. It's going to re-roll its stats, so you could get like some better base stats, but you have a chance of combining 3-star cores into another 3-star core. So you just basically lose 2 of them. So cores are something that you're definitely going to need more of. Even if you get lucky rolls for your first 20 times, it's eventually going to catch up to you. So I think that's something that I would recommend focusing on. Potential reports are helpful and training manuals are helpful, but they're not critical, right? So I think this is a much better way to go. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you have additional insider thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, claim those challenge completions, make some progress, get some gold, get out there, and keep on gaming. Bye for now.